All right. We're capping up. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Premarket Prep session for June 9th, 2023. This being our daily session where we go over any and all information necessary to keeping you consistently profitable here across these crazy markets. I'm your host, Adam Holland, stock options expert market strategist. And I guess recently Tesla Maxi. I always talk about whenever I mention Tesla or I mention crypto, hey, I'm not a Tesla Maxi, I'm not a crypto Maxi. But I am a money-making maxi, right? I make sure I maximize on anything that makes me money. That's what I pay attention to. That's what I focus on. And Tesla has been exactly that for the past 2.5 weeks. So that is what we've been focused on. So it's amazing to have you guys here this morning. It's a beautiful morning. Why? Because we're reaching our first price target on the weekly on Tesla. So clap it up, everybody. We're about to bring home a fat bag at open. And I'm very, very excited to do that. There's not really much else to say. If you take the time, you put in the effort, you get 1% better, you can take 5-figure payouts, 6-figure payouts, and you can make that a normal occurrence. And it only takes a few weeks, but you have to be willing to get 1% better. You got to show up in the arenas that allow you to get 1% better. And that's how you do it, right? And that's how you do it faithfully and consistently. 2023 is a world of possibilities. It is a world of opportunities, but your mindset is the lens through which you perceive that opportunity. So you've got to be in those realms in order to make sure that you have the mindset in order to perceive that opportunity. So 1% better, right? That is the goal. Good morning, everybody. Vivian, Andrea, Paul, Dylan, Tristan, good morning. Hope you guys had a great night's sleep, and are ready to get after today to dominate the day. To be honest, could be done for the day at open with where Tesla's opening, right? Between lottos, short swings, and long swings. It'll definitely be a pay my rent for the next 2.5 years type of morning. So we'll see if much trading gets done after that. If there is more opportunity, I'll go and, be sure to take advantage of it. But you don't want to overtrade. You don't want to, kind of mess things up. You don't want to overdo things. So that is always important. One of the big, and I always just try and drop nuggets because you never know what someone needs, right? Or what you drop that is exactly what they needed to hear. Number one, we always take profit on the gap up, right? So make sure you take a majority of profit on the gap up for any short-term positions. Number two, withdraw from your account. You don't get paid unless you withdraw money from your account. I get it. A lot of people think I'm going to start trading. I'm going to take this, $200 and turn it into $600, turn that into $1,200, then turn that into, $5,000. And what happens is you take $200, you turn it into 600, you take that back to 300, it goes to 100, you go from 1 to 3, and then you blow up your account, right? And then you refund the account, and you do that over and over and over again. Find a good amount of money that you're good with trading, double that money, and then withdraw it. So let's say you started out trading with $1,000. You turn that $1,000 into $2,000. You withdraw $1,000 from that and go back to $1,000. That is the only way that you'll be able to pay yourself consistently. I'm telling you this not because I want to limit your gains, not because I'm not trying to see you win. I'm telling you this because I've done this for a long time, right? I've put in the 10,000 hours necessary for mastery, and this is what I've learned. So you can follow that advice or not follow that advice, but it's advice that I give for a reason. You will know when you're ready to scale up. You can scale up when you're ready to scale up, but you don't start and automatically take $1,000 in your account and go 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, right? It's turn 1,000 into 2, withdraw 1,000, right? And then that way you also have the same reverence. You don't have the same reverence for your trading funds when you have a large account, right? Or when you have more than you used to have. Because if you turn 1,000 to 2,000 in your head, that 1,000 is free, right? You're like, even if I lose 1,000 of it, I'm back to where I started. Yeah, exactly. Even if you lose 1,000 of it, you're right back to where you started. So all those days where you made that 1,000, right? Useless because you traded it right back down. So make sure that if you doubled your account, tripled your account, whatever, withdraw that money, physically withdraw it and pay yourself because the market is not like a job. You don't get a check, right? You only get paid if you pay yourself. That is something that it took me years to realize, right? You only get paid if you pay yourself. Some people still haven't realized it. Some people are still trying to take an account and go from 1K to 100K. It is virtually impossible, right? You want to go and consistently scale your way up, right? Go from 1,000 to 2,000 bucks 4 times before you even think about trading with more than $1,000 bucks. right? And that's got to be the goal. That's got to be the way. And that way you make sure you give each dollar you have the reverence that it deserves in terms of your trading plan. That way you make sure that your mindset is curtailed in a way that you stick to your system. And you don't just go about doing things willy-nilly because of the profits. It's always going to be process over profits. You want to refine the process. If you focus on refining the process, you will never be low on profits, right? So if you made great profits this week, focus on refining that process and getting better, right? So I think the majority of people here, you're already registered for the challenge. If you made great money this week and you are not registered for the challenge, register for the challenge. The only way you'll get to my level of charting is by following what I do when I chart in order to get those same results, right? That is what we're doing for 3 days live boot camp where we are charting nonstop. And I feel like you'll start to, people start to recognize this once you begin to invest in yourself and you see the payoff, you never stop, right? You literally never stop. And that's where I am today. Hey, can I give you $500 for an hour of your time? Can I give you $1,000 for an hour and a half of your time, right? Can I talk to you? Can I sit down with you? You make that back tenfold if you know what to do with it, right? If you can integrate that into a system that already wins for you. So don't say, hey, I just started making money in markets and now I feel like I got to hold it. And the only thing that you can do in order to make more money is get that money out of there, right? Last night I had my first major meeting around real estate investing, and now I'm involved in a major deal in that regard. That is something that when I started this journey, I never would have thought was possible, and it's something where as you continue to go, you continue to grow. I don't make money from markets and then say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and sit on this now. No, I'm going to take that. What is it? Interest rates are high, right? Real estate going down. What am I doing? I'm acquiring those assets on the low. Same thing, right? So I make money not to have it sit there in my account so that it can go and serve another purpose. So every time you want to have your money, you want to think of it as soldiers, right? Soldiers that are sitting around, a soldier will tell you is useless. They feel unfulfilled. That's the same way that your money feels. So make sure that no matter how much money that you're making, you're always turning around and doing something with that. It's called currency for a reason, right? It has to stay current. It has to stay moving. So make sure that you're constantly investing in yourself, that you don't give yourself time to get complacent, that you don't give yourself time in order to give that money back or to waste any of those gains, right? Make sure that you're constantly investing in yourself to get better. That is the way that you do so. So that you're always uptrending, so that you're always going up, right? And throw a 7 in the chat if you understand that, if you're in agreement with that, and if you're part of this community, right? Because this community is one where we're all pushing each other to get better. We're all pushing each other to level up. I will never be complacent. That doesn't mean I'm not grateful, right? Gratitude is so key, absolutely so key to what we do each and every day, because you cannot be a good trader without having gratitude. But I also recognize that I will never be complacent. I can never be complacent, because that is how you get stuck in the comfort zone, and nothing worth doing is done from the comfort zone, right? So make sure you're continuing to push yourself. We've had an amazing week, an amazing few weeks, right? Make sure that you don't take that and that end up being your biggest enemy, because unfortunately, more people I've seen quit trading, it's because they get hot, they don't know what to do with it, and then they quit, right? Because if you don't know what to do when you get hot, when you get popping, then when things cool down, you have no way to handle it, right? And you end up losing more than what you gained, and you walk away. So I know plenty of people that they start out hot, they do this, they do that. Winning can be so toxic to you in your trading journey. It can be so toxic. You've got to make sure you know how to handle it the right way. So withdraw your profits. Do not trade with those profits until, at least, let's say that you are on your way to your goal. You got $1,000. You're trading actively with it. You're up 15. You're right, 500. So you have 1,500. You're on your way to 2,000. If you go and with that $1,000 you make $500, don't trade with that extra $500. Don't trade at all for at least 2 days. Let that sit there. Only use that original 1,000 that you had to trade with. That way your funds settle and the money actually hits your account. Too often people take profit, they immediately put that money right back out there, and what do? They give it back to the market. That's how I've had days that would have been $10,000 days. They end up being 4,500, right? 6,400, where you lose almost half, sometimes more than half of what you could have gotten. Why? Because you're over trading, right? So make sure that you do not overtrade today. We're in for a big bag today, people, right? Throw a 3 in the chat for Tesla. Our Tesla longs absolutely crushing it. Our Tesla short swings absolutely crushing it. I think Vivian put this in the Facebook group. I didn't have a chance to comment on it because I had a meeting with the guy actually based out of Dubai. So it's crazy now because this education, I've been international already. I've had clients in a lot of different areas, but I think this will be my first in Dubai. But just crazy, right? But anyways, in terms of like executing and the Tesla news, Tesla released more news, right, about how GM is now going to use their supercharging network. This is something that we've been on top of for so long, guys. How many there are 2 in the chat if you've ever heard me mention about how Tesla is going about their EV dominance by dominating the charging station and infrastructure network, right? We've talked about that so many times. You've heard me say so many times, how is Tesla going about it? Unlike Netflix, who squandered their first mover advantage, Tesla is making sure that you need me even if you do not buy my electric vehicles. That is why Tesla will always be valuable. How long have we been talking about that? 6 months? 8 months? Right? And now you see Ford a few days ago inked their partnership with Tesla. GM, it just got exposed yesterday that they inked their partnership with Tesla. Is that news breaking news? No. These companies have people on payroll that can read charts. They know when their stock is poised to blow up, right? So something that I've talked about here on the pre-market prep, and if I've talked to you personally about Tesla in the past few weeks, it's that FOMO kicks in. The average consumer sees that something is moving and they're late on it and they want to get in. That's what causes stocks to rocket. Also, when there is a technical reason for a stock to go up, luck kicks in. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. These companies reveal these headlines after their stock has broken out, right? Or when it's near breakout. They do that in order to stoke and sustain the breakout. It isn't luck that we happen to be in Tesla and now they're announcing, oh, Ford is partnering with Tesla and they're going to have one of their chargers in each one of their new vehicles and, all the that is not luck, right? Luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. We prepared. We saw the weekly downtrend break. We entered. Now the luck is happening, right? But these companies release this news in a methodical way. They do it in a way that most benefits themselves. If my stock is rocketing and it can keep rocketing, I'm going to make sure I keep bullets in the chamber to keep that flame going, right? Because the rest of the market is stagnant. The rest of the market is struggling. And what is Tesla? Up, 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 right? And this morning, we're going to hit our first price target. We already hit it, right? 249.16. Immediately at open, we're taking profit on longs, right? Taking profit on longs, taking profit on lottos, healthy profits, right? Fat profits. And then we can go about living the rest of our life, right? And I understand this morning's, I guess this morning rant might be a little bit longer, but I say what's put on my heart to say because I know that there are people that need it, right? So there might be little nuggets here and there that was meant for you. Some of it might not be meant for you, but overall, this is for your embetterment as you're going on your trading journey, right? All this super important. No one wants to listen to the talking, right? Into the mindset stuff. They only want to hear the call outs. But then, when you start to struggle, what does it boil down to? Not the call outs. It's the mindset stuff, right? And if you have these opportunities that you're coming across that you're not executing on, it's not the opportunities that are stopping you, right? It's the mindset. It's what's up here. So whatever heart work, whatever head work you need to do in order to get to that place where you can take advantage of those opportunities, that's what you've got to do. But I'm telling you, it's not as important. Like during the losing times, during the tough times, it's important. But during the winning times, it is triple as important to listen to what experienced people have to tell you. Triple as important. I'm telling you this from experience because if you write it off, you can turn around and give all that right back to the market today, next week, right? So listen to all this, withdraw. Don't think you're the exception, right? We're all special, but the market is unlike any environment that we encounter as humans. You won't outwit it, right? You will not outwit it. Make sure that you do like our minds do. You package the market up in a way that makes sense to us and you operate in a way that is sustainable, right? Make money, withdraw it, pay yourself. Don't use profits immediately. Don't overtrade. Stick to the system, right? And you'll win. In terms of top news here, run, bull, run. It's official. The S&P 500's longest bear market since the 1940s has come to an end. The benchmark index closed up 0.6% to 4,294 on Thursday for SPY, 429.4, vaulting it back into bull territory with a 20% advance from its October low. The rally has been powered in large part because of a handful of companies posting outsized gains like big tech, Tesla, AI darling Nvidia, there has also been somewhat of a resurgence in economic optimism compared to the sentiment that plagued the market in 2022. Snapshot going into the year, recession talk had been everywhere. It's still not out of the door, right? As the monthly chart told us on last night's Q&A session. Though much of the hard landing fears have failed so far to materialize. The economy may be cooling down just enough, and despite the uncertainty out there, inflation remains far from its peak last summer, and job numbers continuously surprise to the upside. A debt ceiling showdown has also been moved off the table, while things are looking brighter at the Federal Reserve in terms of less restrictive monetary policy. Now, speaking of the Fed, the central bank has been in a blackout period this week ahead of the FOMC meeting scheduled for June 13th to 14th. Surprise hikes by the Australian and Canadian central banks have led to some slight revisions, but there is still a 77% probability the Fed will hold rates next week. So we're looking at them, for the first time, not increasing interest rates as of next week. It seems like we haven't had a Fed day in forever. So, I mean, kind of excited for that, weirdly, right? Because it seems like it's just been too long since we've had one. Let's see here. So rate increases might resume again in July, though there is an overall feeling that the FOMC is nearing the end of its hiking agenda. We'll see, right? They say that they're data dependent. I'm sure they'll continue to say that, right? And we'll just kind of see what they give us. Regardless of what they give us, we'll be ready for it. Seeking Alpha commentary, it took weeks for the Bulls to finally make a run above 4,200, but it may only prove to be nothing more than a trap. Writes Mock Capital Management, cautioning that the stock market has, quote, made a big mistake. Investing group leader Lawrence Fuller counters by saying that while the, quote, bull market has been led by the largest technology names so far, the breadth is starting to improve. The S&P 500 had been in a bear market territory for a total of 248 days, which is the longest run since the cycle that finished on May 15th, 1948, which lasted 484 days. So overall, these are just technical thresholds, that people like to have and put out in order to make headlines, right? People say, "Oh, we're out of a bear market and we're into a bull market and we're this and we're that." Those things can flip like that, right? They can flip like that. I don't care to pay attention to. Let me see here. What do we got? Notification. Okay, we got SPY moving to the upside. I don't care to pay attention to the labels, right? I play whatever pays me, right? I'm not a bull or a bear. I'm a kangaroo, right? The market goes up and down. I like to make money off both the up and the down. Yesterday, we made money off of the SPY puts, right? NVIDIA puts, Tesla calls. So you can make money off of a variety of things going different ways at the same time. I think it's a very Western dichotomous attitude to say, hey, I'm either a bull or a bear. We're a Democrat or we're a Republican. You're pro-life or pro-choice, right? It's always one or the other. That is only in the West that we do things like that. Everywhere else in the world, there's areas of gray, right? But in the West, it's you're this, you're that. And we all miss out on things because of it, right? I'm a bull. I can't take bearish trades. So what the heck did you do all of 2022, right? When we were in a weekly downtrend for a year? Or, I'm only a bear. I don't take bullish trades. So what have you been doing all this year as we've had, tech stocks breaking the weekly downtrend, hitting new all-time highs, right? So you limit yourself for what? Team spirit, right? Nobody comes out and cheers you on when you miss a bullish opportunity because you're a perma bear, right? We do this to ourselves, and it's this weird boxing in that we do mentally that stops us from taking advantage of opportunity. And it makes no sense, right? But overall, SPY will fully be out of the bear's cave when we close above 430, that 429.60 area, whatever it is, on SPY by the end of this month. We do that, cool. We're fully out of the bear's cave. Peace out. The bear is hibernating, and we're no longer caring or worried about it. But until then, the possibility remains. That doesn't mean that we make plays based off of that. I'm only going to make bearish plays when I see bearish sentiment start to manifest on the charts, right? So until that happens, we remain placing trades to the side, riding these uptrends, and placing bullish trades. Now, in terms of SPACs, Trump indictment, adding to the latest drama surrounding the 2024 presidential race, Donald Trump has been indicted on 7 counts in a criminal case brought by the U.S. Justice Department, marking the first time a former president has faced federal charges. Trump was already indicted in a separate case back in April, though he has withstood many other controversies and probes and could still run for president while indicted and likely even convicted. I did not know that he could still run for president even if convicted. Digital World Acquisition Corp, ticker DWAC, the blank check firm seeking to merge with Trump's media company, that owns the Truth Social app, will be on watch today. Any big headline surrounding Trump has generally led to movement, though the SPAC did receive a delisting notice last month from the NASDAQ. So might be the end of, another meme stock. I guess they were considered a meme stock, DWAC. It had a few runs. Typically, anything related to Trump, it was buy the rumor, sell the news. So any rumor around Trump, good or bad, DWAC pushed. Whenever that rumor was materialized and we got the truth, it would sell off. And now it looks like it received a delisting notice. So yeah, the life cycle of some of these SPACs and the life cycle of these meme stocks, right? In terms of tech news, Project 92. Speaking of Twitter alternatives, Meta Platforms, ticker Meta, has reportedly previewed its standalone app to employees that will directly compete with the Elon Musk-owned platform. The new app, internally codenamed Project 92, will be launched through Instagram as soon as possible. Wow. Quote, we've been hearing from creators and public figures who are interested in having a platform that is sanely run, that they believe they can trust and rely on for distribution, said Chief Product Officer Chris Cox. Some celebrities have already committed to using the app, including DJ Slime. While Meta is also in talks with other public figures, including Oprah Winfrey and the Dalai Lama. I guess the Dalai Lama is the man on social media. I don't follow him. I know he has millions of real life followers. I didn't know whether or not he was a hit on social media, but maybe if Meta can pull him on their Twitter platform, right, or at least maybe a Monk intern, that would be more clout for their new Twitter alternative. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty significant news, and we'll see if Meta ends up pushing off the news, moving off the news, what have you. Let's check out Meta and see what we're looking at right now, pre-market. So we got some selling like everything else did the past few days, everything else excluding Tesla, but it is still maintaining the possibility for an hourly bull flag. So if we get an hourly close over, what is that, 267.65? We get an hourly close over, 267.65 on Meta, like Meta to the upside for calls. Let's see how we look in on the daily. And of course, that would be next week expiration, unless you're a psycho and you have experience and you're fine with zero dates. But overall, you don't want to focus on zero dates if you are new, right? You're just getting started. That is not at all what you want to concern yourself with. Let's see. I'm just plotting them out on the daily as well. Ooh. Interdasting. Very interdasting. Let's see. And you guys, don't mind me. I know I'm hosting this and all, but I also, yeah, I am kind of liking what, oh, come on, Thinkorswim, hurry it up. I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing on Meta. Anyways, we'll go deeper into that pre-market, right? For the Facebook group. We'll go deeper into that. But yes, Meta looking very interdasting here this morning. And I know that's not how you say the word. That's just me being corny. In terms of automotive news here, charging up, EVs made by General Motors will be able to use Tesla's charging network from next year, expanding the Detroit automaker's access to 12,000 superchargers. Boom, right? While the deal will initially require the use of an adapter, GM will integrate Tesla's North American charging standard connector design into his vehicles in 2025. Beautiful, right? Yes, Elon is crazy, but at the end of the day, that is how you capitalize on first mover advantage. You are the first one in a space and you usher in, right, people into that space. Then you make yourself indispensable to that space, right? You cannot, that's like me coming in and teaching trading and then me also starting a trading platform. Hey, I can teach you trading. Yes, other people can do that, but you can't place trades without me, right? That's a different level. That's a different level there. Same thing with what Musk is doing. You don't have to drive a Tesla, but you will use a Tesla charger. You don't have to, the GM, you don't have to invest in Tesla, but you will have Tesla charging adaptation, right? And adapters available within your vehicles, right? That's gangster. That's how you move when you want to be indispensable. And that's how you should take notes and move within your own corporate framework, right? With you, whatever company you're working at, make yourself indispensable by using the time that you have before you get replaced, aka AI. Make yourself so good with AI that when they want AI to come take your job, you're the person that is making the decisions about who AI is going to replace. How did you get there? Because in the year to 2 years, right, the time that it takes stuff to catch up, because AI won't take your job right now, but it can in 2 years, 3 years. In that time, master it, right? Master it, move up to the point where it can no longer take your job. AI will not replace a regional manager, right? A CFO, a COO. Work your way up because you have plenty of time, but not if you sit there being anxious about it, right? You won't sit there being anxious and then suddenly it will fall out of the sky. The world changes. This is happening. Musk didn't pray that GM and Ford would fail. He said, I'm going to control what I can control. I'm going to make sure that I am the one that is powering the infrastructure of the future, right? He didn't say, oh, I hope Ford buys Tesla, right? I hope GM, wants to, the Ford couldn't even buy Tesla because of the market cap, but like, I hope Ford, invests in us. I hope Ford does this. I hope that their designs fail. You can't control any of that. What did he do? He controlled what he could control. And now he's in a place of dominance, right? That's what you got to focus on and take. You want to take lessons even from instances like this, right? Anecdotal pieces of evidence like this, where you say, okay, this is how the big dogs are moving. How do I apply that in my life, right? Even if you own a burger shop, a taco shop, how do I apply that in my life? If my tacos are crushing it, I need to go somewhere, right, wherever they make the best tortillas, and I make sure that I am involved in that tortilla process, right? So even if I grow, even if things grow around me, I will never be displaced because I always exude value, right? Throw a 6 in the chat if that makes sense for everybody that's listening. Just kind of a little note outside of trading related things. Now, in terms of today's markets, we got a mixed bag. It looks like SPY is actually higher than what this is, where this was when this newsletter came out. We're testing that 429.61 again. We just, set a new high, trying to peak over it. We'll see if we end up, being able to push over it. But as of right now in Asia, Japan, we were up 2%, Hong Kong up 0.5, China up 0.6, India down 0.4. In Europe, the FTSE in London is down 0.4%, Paris is down 0.3, Frankfurt is down 0.3. The Dow is down 0.2%, S&P down 0.2. I think both of those are up now. Both of those are up now. So we're actually green, not red here. And then crude oil up 0.1, gold flat, Bitcoin up 0.7% back to 26,636. What else is happening? We don't have much data on the economic calendar, so we'll wrap up here with our rapid fire bullet point rundown. Meta's Zuckerberg unfazed by Apple's AR/VR headset. Google sets new showcase US launch for summer. Why did Carvana surge? Ticker CVNA. Optimistic outlook sparks a squeeze. I don't play meme stocks, so that's not me, but congratulations to anybody who was in on Carvana, right? That's awesome. I prefer to play the big names that I know will be there tomorrow, and I don't need one little piece of news coming out that's going to wipe out its market value. DocuSign, ticker DOCU, rises on double-digit revenue gain, boosted cash flows. Goldman initiates 5 utilities at buy, calls them decarbonization enablers. Signet Jewels, ticker SIG, slides after slashing its guidance for the year ahead. White House mulls options for potential loss on student loan forgiveness. And then AstraZeneca, ticker AZN, Sanofi, ticker SNY, get FDA panel nod for RSV therapy, whatever that is. Now, that's really our last major headline and our last piece of information, not only for this morning's session, but for this week. Congratulations, people, right? Congratulations for anyone that is locking down profit this morning, for anyone that gained experience this week, for anyone that, might have failed, and that failure is now the building block for your future success. You got something valuable out of this week. Why? Because you tried. When you try, you put forth effort, you execute, you get something positive from that, whether it's the market handing you money or the market handing you a lesson in order to use that to stepstone up to your next big payday, right? So you executed. That's huge. You were here. That's huge. Today is a day to be celebrated, right? And also to learn from. So make sure that you're celebrating. You have gratitude. You're patting yourself on the back. You might only have one Tesla long swing. You said, man, I wish I had more. That one is amazing execution. There is plenty of time in order to re-enter depending on where we close today, right? And plenty of opportunity to take advantage of in the future. You might only have had one lotto coming into today, right? You might only have a few plays that you made earlier this week that you won on. You missed out on the latter part of the week. Be gracious, right? Have gratitude for all of that, because all of that is a blessing and all of that is over zero, which is always a plus. So if you got any value from this, make sure you show love to all the different content on the accounts, right? Throw some emojis on the Instagram post. Check out that stock yesterday. I like that stock. It's cheap, right? Breaking the weekly downtrend. I've got another one that I might drop today. I don't know. I might drop a different one. I think my editor had a different one that I might drop today. But watch those reels, right? Show love to those reels. Comment on the reels. And you'll continue to get free value from those. But other than that, everybody have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Don't overtrade today. And I'll see you back here on Monday for our next pre-market prep session. Have a good one.